Передайте нашим, що ми
There's only 50 kilometers separating the armed forces of Ukraine from the border with Russia in some areas of the Kharkiv region. This was stated by Commander-in-Chief Valery Zaluzhny on September the 11th. The Russian occupiers are fleeing, meaning they are carrying out an operation to curtail and organize the transfer. Such an excuse was invented by the Ministry of Defense of Russia. The Russian army retreats to the temporarily occupied by them cities of the Luhansk region.
отлично сладкі.
The Luhansk region has all the chances for deoccupation, the Ukrainian authorities say. These plans became even more realistic after the liberation of Izium and Liman by the armed forces of Ukraine.
We can state that a full-scale deoccupation of the Luhansk region will begin. It will start from Svatove, Kreminna, Rubizhne, and right till the administrative border of the region.
Moscow traditionally cynically takes its revenge. On the evening of September the 11th, the Russian army carried out one of the most massive attacks on Ukraine's power infrastructure. 40 substations of various voltages were de-energized. 4 power engineers were killed. In addition, the enemy has intensified shelling of the Donetsk region.
6 missile strikes on the city of Pokrovsk, shelling of the cities of Bakhmut, Soledar, Sovyansk, Mykolaiivka, and also the entire front line.
The Office of the President of Ukraine emphasizes that we shouldn't forget about the counteroffensive in the Kherson direction. After all, the liberation of Kherson will allow it to carry out military operations on the territory of the temporarily occupied Crimea.
The deblocking of Kherson will allow us to count on certain actions to block the corridor to Crimea. Well, and accordingly to conduct special operations already in Crimea. We will definitely go in and take everything away. And then the negotiation process will begin, when we will put our own ultimatum, very tough demands. Mikhailo Podolyak, advisor to the head of the Office of the President of Ukraine, in an interview with TV channel Dozhd.
According to the Deputy Minister of Defense, Hanna Maler, before the offensive, the Ukrainian military gives the Russian invaders a chance to survive. The armed forces of Ukraine launch propaganda shells stuffed with the leaflets with instructions to retreat. The leaflets urge them to surrender and instruct Russians how to do so. Each shell contains 1,500 leaflets. This is a reminder for the Russian occupiers that Ukraine will soon return its land, and they have a chance to lay down their arms and survive. Hanna Maler, Deputy Minister of Defense, on Facebook. The National Security and Defense Council of Ukraine says that Russia cannot be left as it is now, otherwise another offensive cannot be avoided later. They also commented on when the armed forces of Ukraine would stop their offensive.
The armed forces of Ukraine will stop where our interests end, and this will depend on many circumstances. Therefore, our task is to make Russia such a state that has no desire to think that it can attack its neighbors, especially in the way it did towards our country. Oleksii Danilov, Secretary of the National Security and Defense Council of Ukraine, in an interview with Voice of America.
Kremlin propagandists have repeatedly thrown assumptions about internal conflicts between the military and political leadership of Ukraine into the information space. The successful start of the counteroffensive of the armed forces of Ukraine proves the opposite.
This split never happened. Communication remains at the highest level for today. All the actions are coordinated, and the president leaves freedom of maneuver and behavior for the military forces, unlike Putin, who essentially commands the Russian army.
Minister of Defense of Ukraine, Oleksii Reznikov, says that the counteroffensive of the Ukrainian military is going even better than it was expected in the top military leadership. But Oleksii Reznikov warns that Russia, having renewed its forces, may respond with another offensive. So all the necessary work must be done on the liberated Ukrainian territories, and it cannot be ruled out that the fight will continue there. Reported by Dana Kolesnik, Yulia Bezborodko, UATV News.